Hi, my name is Edith Johnson, and I am Black in America.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Black in America. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing one of the co-founders of that amazing group, Meet Me at the Altar, the one and only Edith. Edith, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Edith, you are looking extremely well. You look great. I love the smile. What inspired the color for today?
I don't know. I was getting my hair done last week, and I was like, I wanted to try a color I haven't tried before. And I've done green before, obviously, everyone knows that, but I hadn't done like a super lime green. And then I was like, I think yellow will look cool with it.
Yeah.
Yellow. And then my childhood, I wore beads in my hair all the time. So I was like, let's bring the beads back.
Bring the beads back. I love it. Do you know who I thought about when I saw that today? I thought about Stevie Wonder. Remember when Stevie would do the beads and everything? Yeah, channeling that beautiful energy. Well, you're looking great. How are you feeling? How are you and the family doing?
We're really good, really good. There's a lot of change, but we're getting used to it, and just wait to get back on the road and everything. It's been really interesting without any shows or tours, but we've been really good. Yeah.
It has been a very interesting time, but I'm glad to hear everybody's okay. And yes, the world is slowly but surely opening back up. So we can't wait to see you back out there on tour. Okay. Excellent. I know. So Edith, I've been opening up these interviews with a really broad question to everybody. And I want to ask you that same question. Consider this. What was it like for you growing up Black in America, and where did you grow up at? So let the folks know what your experience was like growing up Black in America, and where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Georgia in a small town called Kansas City.
All right.
Small town, but also it's very, very white.
Okay.
I was one of the only Black kids in my grade for the longest time. One of the only Black kids in my school for the longest time.
Wow.
So that was very interesting. It took me a while to really find and understand my Blackness because I was always surrounded by white people. My parents always taught me, I obviously knew I was Black and everything, but I kind of felt a big disconnect to my community and my people because I wasn't around them all the time. And I remember my sisters grew up in the same little town. And one day my sister came home and she asked my mom, she's like, "Mom, when is my hair gonna be straight? Like my friend Kelly's." And then my mom was like, "Whoa, let's not do that." And then eventually, when I went to middle school, that's when I really branched out. My mom moved me into public school in Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's where I really started understanding my Blackness and who I am. And I don't know, it was very interesting, but I'm really happy that she moved me like that because there's a lot of lost souls when you're Black in a white community.
Yeah.
You can either, your oreo-ness, if it gets too cream filled, you can turn into, you can turn into a human a little bit. So I was really happy that wasn't me. And I went to public school in Atlanta, and then I was really like, whoa, there's so many different types of people that I've never been around this many different types of people. Eventually all my friends were Black. I was hanging, I was good. And yeah, that's basically my experience. And I stayed in Atlanta after that because obviously I didn't want to go back somewhere that didn't have a lot of people like me. And I feel so much more comfortable with myself when I felt more comfortable with myself and understood. It was difficult at first at the public school because, Black kids call you an Oreo. Black kids say, "Oh, since you talk a certain way, you're white." And that was extremely hurtful for me. I couldn't dance either. I could not dance, but eventually I found other kids that understood me, and then I had this whole amazing friend group of just diverse people. And then eventually, I grew up and I don't really have any white friends at all. All my friends are Black and people of color. But that was my experience. It was good. It would have been a lot different if I hadn't moved into Atlanta.
Right.
I'm happy I did because, like I said, there's a lot of lost souls in the Black community that they just don't know their culture or their people and don't understand it fully. So I was really happy I was able to get out of that and really find out who I am.
I love that. Edith, talk to me. Let's unpack that a little bit, right? Because you've used a couple of terms, lost souls. That transition was eye-opening. I want to explore a little bit more. What was the most eye-opening or shocking, or just remind me of that experience when you first went to this Atlanta school? What do you remember? What emotion is evoked when you think about that first time you entered that space? Maybe your first week of school. Like, what were you feeling? What were you sensing? Can you take me back there?
Yeah, I was feeling a lot of discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
I felt very awkward.
Mm,
I didn't really know who to turn to because I was like too white for the black kids and too black for the white kids. Because
mm.
at the end of the day, I learned that, you know, no matter how much I talk like I talk, no matter how much I try to avoid who I am, like the white people are always going to see a black person, and that's that. No matter how rich I am or how whatever, I'm always going to be black.
Right.
Always, always,
Right.
always.
Right.
So yeah, I felt eventually I got used to it, and it really opened my eyes, and I was like, thank God.
Right.
And I remember it's kind of embarrassing, but the one time I felt extremely welcomed was I was just walking to school, sixth grade, seventh grade.
Okay.
And I guess it was time for me to take my braids out.
Okay.
Now, my Oreo-ness when I was growing up, I didn't take my braids out fast enough.
Okay.
I was looking a little nappy, you know what I mean? So, I walked to school and immediately this black girl I never saw, never known, walked up to me and she was like, I think it's time for you to take your hair out.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't even know her, but
Right.
she felt sisterhood enough to tell me and help me out.
Yes.
Done before. That's
Yes.
when I was like, wow.
This is
Yeah.
love. This is
Yeah,
love right now.
yeah. Like, my white friends didn't know the difference of anything. So
Right. I love that. And first of all, I want you to unpack what you say or define for these folks. You say Oreo-ness. Let
yeah.
these folks know what you mean when you say Oreo. I get that, but what do you mean when you say your Oreo-ness?
So Oreo,
Yes.
I really do hate the term.
Yes.
It's very negative, in my opinion.
Yes.
So you can say, okay, there's this black girl living in a white environment like I was.
Yeah.
And because I grew up with white people,
Right.
I have a certain cadence to my voice when I speak.
Right.
And maybe I have a lot of white friends. Maybe there's this black person over looking at me like,
right.
Oh, like she's trying to be white. She's an Oreo.
Right.
So an Oreo is when I guess you talk more proper, which I hate that also.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk with cadence. Basically, an Oreo means you talk with no rhythm. In my opinion, that's what it means. Or
I understand.
I carry myself a little bit differently than other black people might.
Right.
Because I was raised around all of these white people and
I get it.
Upper class.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to do that because I've had several conversations. And so I'll add to that definition for you too. What it often means, in addition to the language, it's just simply suggesting culturally you present more and think more white oriented culturally. Ethnically, you're clearly black, but culturally, they think you operate and move and think in a white way, which is quite possible because we've seen a white person that was raised or adopted by a black family in an inner city, and culturally, they behave in a way that was, again, they're a product of their environment, but ethnically, they're white. So I just wanted folks that were listening to understand what you meant by that. So that's perfect. That's perfect. And so here you are, you have this experience, you understand that, you feel the love at the school now. You're like, okay, girl, I need to get my edges tightened. I need to take these braids taken out. And so you're starting to, again, adjust to that. But there was a period of discomfort. So I would love for you, in thinking about that, your vast experience back then, growing up until this point, if there was one word that you would use to describe your experience. It's challenging, but I want you to work with me. Give me one word that you think would best describe your experience of being Black in America growing up at that time.
Wow.
Don't overthink it. What came to your head? You get to use the word that just popped in your heart for whatever reason it was.
What came to my head was blessed in a way.
It's perfect. All right. Yes. Blessed. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So talk. What? Now that you're thinking about it, why the word blessed?
I believe that because I'm Black, I'm automatically stronger. I'm automatically smarter. I'm automatically have a lot more fight inside of me.
I love it.
Which, obviously took me a while to understand. But
Yeah.
if I had a choice to be born again, I would not choose to be anything else but Black. No, I would never, ever, ever.
I love that. I love that. That looking back with the challenges, the difficulties, the word that popped up in your heart was blessed. I'm
Yeah,
blessed to be Black.
yeah. And obviously, being Black in America is very difficult.
Yep.
A lot of strides to be done with social justice and everything.
Mhm.
So I'm not overlooking all the bad, but I feel like there is more good to
Yeah,
it. But there's still a bunch we need to fix, and it's
absolutely.
very sad to see. But yeah, I feel blessed to be Black. Absolutely.
I love that, Edith. Let's transition now. I love that. I love that. Let's transition to your music now. So talk to me about like when did your love affair with music start? And then how did it start shifting into pop punk artists?
Yeah, so I'm also very blessed in this way that I was born into a musical family. So
Oh,
my dad is a singer, and everyone on my dad's side, they're all singers. My
okay.
great dad was a pastor. My granddad's a pastor.
So you grew up in the
But,
church.
so, yeah.
What denomination did you grow up in?
Well, I grew up Lutheran, but my dad's family is oh my God, why did I
Pentecostal,
complain?
Baptist.
Baptist. Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
yeah.
Baptist. What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay.
But I don't know. My family wasn't really too big on denominations.
Right. Okay.
I honestly think that we just believe in God. We believe in God. So I grew up in a Lutheran church,
Beautiful.
which I don't know. I don't even really, I couldn't tell you much about being Lutheran at all, but
Yeah.
that's what I was. So yeah, like the voices of my family were just very natural. And obviously, since I am a product of my father,
Yes.
I got a lot of that musical talent just
Yeah.
naturally. Like I remember just being able to sing.
Wow.
Just being able to sing. Like I would be in the car at like 6 years old, like harmonizing with the radio. Like
Love that.
I didn't even know how.
Right.
I never learned. It was just God just put it in me to be able to do that.
Wow.
And so yeah, musical family, which is very helpful, as a young artist, because a lot
Mhm.
of parents are like, oh, like music isn't a real job, you got to go to college, yada yada yada. And
Right.
I never had to experience that because my family was so musical. So my sisters and I grew up like playing violin and different instruments and always being in choruses. And I sing in my band's church forever.
I love that.
Um, but yeah, like I was also surrounded by a lot of different types of music growing up.
Okay.
Obviously, like, the pop radio, and then obviously like Stevie Wonder.
Mhm.
I grew up on a lot of like Alanis Morissette,
Okay.
a lot of a lot of everything. So I had a background of Black artists in music and R&B, like Lauryn Hill and India Ari.
Yeah.
But then I had like Dave Matthews Band and like stuff like that. So I was always a music lover of all types. I feel like if it's a good song is a good song, doesn't matter
That's
what
right.
song
That's
it
right.
is.
That's right.
Which I'm also very thankful for because my parents showed me so many different types of music.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
then like I honestly don't remember how exactly I got into pop punk. I just think I don't know. That's really interesting because I love bands like The Scripts
Okay.
and stuff like that. So I was on YouTube one day, and this is my recommended was a video for Bring Me the Horizon, one of their songs. Just Bring Me the Horizon is a metal band,
Okay.
and I just remember watching it, and I was like, "This is so sick! Like this is so
Yeah.
cool!"
Yes.
And it just never stopped. I found bands do Bring Me the Horizon, then I found other bands do that band, and it just kept going. And eventually, I found pop punk and started going to shows. And while I was at those shows, I was like, first of all, no Black people, because around this time was after my Black awakening.
Right.
I went to
Right.
public school,
Right.
and I was like, what? Like, there's no Black people, and I was very confused because we made rock music in the first place.
Mm.
Like Black culture is pop culture nowadays. Like everything comes from Black people, including rock music.
Right. Right.
I was confused as to why I didn't see anyone there that looked like me, like at the shows or on stage. Same with being a woman, no woman on the stage ever. And I was at one show one day and I was like, I need to do this for a lot of reasons. Because first of all, as a woman and a Black woman at that,
Yes.
it would be very nice and eye-opening to everyone to see a Black woman up there
That's
playing
right.
that type of music.
That's right.
So I got really motivated to be that person because I wish I had that person to look at. Like I had some women role models in the rock scene, like Haley Williams is a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, she Haley Williams is a white woman, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was all I had a woman, but I didn't have the true connection of seeing a black woman and being inspired by her. So I was like, I need to do this because I can inspire so many women. I can remind people where this music came from in the first place, and I have musical talent. So I was very motivated to find a band of people like me to
Yes.
join and to start this with.
Wow. And tell us about how did you go on the journey to find your bandmates? Like now you have this passion, you have this moment. So you have several points in your life where they're like these eye-opening and enlightening moments, right? Your blackness at the school. Whoa, eye-opening transformation. Now I'm at this band, this concert. Whoa, eye-opening transformation. How did you go on the journey now to find your group? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was asking all my friends, I was like, do you know any bands I can join? I was asking Google, the internet, like band who needs singer, stuff like that, which obviously didn't work.
Right.
But it was honestly fate and God
Right.
that brought me to this because I was on YouTube again
Yeah.
as a young child. I was 14, 15 years old. And in my recommended on my homepage, it was my bandmate's Ada's video and it said, I'm in a band and need a singer. And I
Wow.
was like, this is crazy. So I clicked on the video, I watched it. I realized that Ada is a woman of color. And I
Right.
was like, this is even more amazing. And then Taya, she's black and a woman. And I was like, this is perfect. So I followed all the directions. I tried out. And sadly, they did not choose me, which again was very stupid. And I will never let them live this down. That they didn't choose me. But for some reason, God didn't let that discourage me. And I honestly feel like he plays a lot of like, I just wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept the fact that I wasn't chosen in the band because I already felt so connected to them because they're a woman of color. And I didn't do that. So I was like, I cannot let this go. I cannot lose this because this is very important. And I kept supporting them when they had this singer they chose over me. I was always there supporting, commenting, liking, showing my love and support for them. Wow. And then the singer that they chose over me ended up leaving. Wow. So it's only Ada and Taya left. And I got Taya's number somehow, and I texted her every day for 2 years. And I prayed to God every day for 2 whole years. I was like, God, please put me in this band. I feel so connected for some reason, and I don't know what it is, but I can't let this go. Please let me in this band. I texted Taya every day. Taya, do you need a singer? Because I'm here every single day. 2 whole years. Because I something about me, like honestly, I do believe that comes from my blackness and my strong black mom that's raised me and my amazing parents that they taught me never to give up.
Resilience. That's right.
I can do anything I want. So I was so annoying. I was honestly borderline stalkerish.
I was gonna say, you gently slid in there. I got her cell phone numbers some kind of way. So
like I don't understand. I don't know, but I did. And then eventually Taya was like, okay, shut up. You can be in the band. So that's how that happened. But I basically annoyed myself into
the band. Yeah, it's not a romantic story at all. Like, they rejected me. I stalked them for 2 years. They finally said yes. But then the funny thing is, happily ever after. So
right, exactly.
Yeah, wow. That is incredible. I love that. So again, you found your way. You were persistent. You would not be denied of what you wanted. You locked in and you attribute that grit. They call it, some people call that grit too, just to continue to move forward and persevere. You attribute that to your blackness, your parents, your family, your culture. And so that's a part of our DNA. Black folks don't give up. You know, we have this indefatigable hope. And once we lock into something, we're going to make it happen. So yeah. I love that. I love that. So looking at your playlist, first one up is This Is America, Childish Gambino. Now that addresses some heavy topics in its lyrics and music video. So number one, why did that make your list? And how do you see music as a driver for social commentary and or change?
Yeah, it made my list because every single day as Black people in America, we're up for a fight. We're fighting for our rights every single day there is. Obviously, all the police brutality and people not understanding you because you're Black, people thinking you're this because you're Black, all of the negative stereotypes and the fight we always have to give every single day of our lives is why I put that song on there, because it's so true and honest. I couldn't not put that song on there.
Makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And what do you see the view of lyrics and music or yourself as an artist really impacting social change and social commentary? Music as a driver for that.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing and it's great. Even if someone that doesn't support our community hears it, it still makes them think in some type of way. And it still brings awareness, even if they don't agree that this is happening, even though it is.
Right.
That's still put in their brain. And that's why it was such a big song, because everyone was like, whoa.
That's right.
Music is so great as protest, because people can listen to it and it won't sound so harsh. People don't like honesty. People don't like people being harsh or blunt. And music is a great way to kind of mesh the two and make people not be so about it.
Right. That makes sense. That makes all the sense. Exactly right. Exactly right. You have another one on here, Casket Pretty by No Name, is another song that features introspective lyrics addressing systemic racism, right? What's this song? Why did this make the list for you?
First of all, I love No Name. She is such a wonderful artist, and I think she's very underrated. So go listen to No Name.
All right.
But, gosh, I have so much anger in my heart because all of our Black men getting killed for no reason by police. And, she talks about in the song how, Black mothers are so terrified when their sons leave the house. They don't know if they're going to come back or not. So she says, all my people are casket pretty. There's no happy life in the city. I hope you make it home. And that is so, so, so powerful. And it really shines a light on all the injustices and everything going on with police and Black men and all the shootings and lives we've lost. And I love that song.
It is a powerful song, powerful lyrics, and she is an amazing artist. Talk to me though about this anger and this frustration in your heart. What are you doing to tend to that? What are you doing to channel that, that some of the listeners could possibly take cues from? How are you managing all of that anger, that hurt, that pain? What are you doing with that?
Showing support, showing understanding, putting myself in their shoes. I'm trying to educate everyone in every corner I possibly can. Because I'm surrounded by women of color all the time because my family and my friends, but sometimes people come along that don't understand. And I really do take everything in my being to explain to them what's going on and to help educate them, because the start, honestly, the finish and the start, white people started this, they should understand that they have to end it and help it. So I always try educate my people of color, because some, Black and people of color honestly are two separate different things.
Correct.
So you can have a brown woman that doesn't really understand Black issues, the same thing. It's there are some similarities in our experiences, but at the end of the day, it's a lot different. Everyone around me, I try to educate at all times.
I love that. So one of your mechanisms for channeling that anger and frustrations through education makes sense. So that's one of the ways you channel it. Is there anything that you do for self-care when you're not educating and going about sharing this information? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you guarding your heart? Make sure you're okay.
Well, my sisters are a big part of that.
Okay.
My family, talking to my family, my sisters.
Good.
Honestly, just getting sleep.
Okay, that's good. Getting good sleep, having a good support system. Yeah.
Well, having a support system is the biggest one for me.
Yeah.
Whether that be your therapist, one of your friends, or your family, just talking about it.
That's right.
It does help, because it will eat you alive if you keep it inside and not speak about it publicly, or it'll really mess you up. So
that's right. And it's important of having people that when you speak to them about it, they understand you, they get you.
Absolutely.
Because that's a difference between educating people and then talking to people that actually already get it, and you can just kind of vent to them. So that makes sense. Excellent. I love that, Edith. So talk to me about the song that made the list. Our buddy J. Cole released 1985. And critics were quick to label it as a diss track and move on, despite its self-awareness and reflection on the Black experience. So talk to me about, how did this song make the list and what does it mean to you?
I love J. Cole. Like, he is top 3 rappers for sure for me.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I love about him is he uses his platform to
Mm-hmm.
educate people, like I was talking about,
Yep.
and to make people aware.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very, very important, because in the song, he also talks about how, you know, there's many Black people that are upper class.
Mm-hmm.
There's many Black people that are, you know, famous,
Mm-hmm.
that seem to forget about their Blackness, which is what I was saying, lost souls. There's a lot of lost souls in the Black community.
Ah, okay.
About how white people love our music so much because that's what they think Blackness is. And there's a lot of rappers that have predominantly white audiences
Mm-hmm.
that don't really use what they have to educate these people.
Right, right.
Be like, you know, oh, it's tatted, nothing wrong with that. Oh, it's tatted, braids, having a rim in your teeth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then the white people love it because that's what they think being Black is.
Right, right.
But at the same time, just like J. Cole uses his platform, they can use their platform, but they don't, because they don't truly understand what, you know, what's going on. They think just because they are above, like, in class,
Mm-hmm.
or in wealth or anything, that these issues don't pertain to them anymore, and that's
Correct.
not true. And that's one of my favorite lyrics in that song. I think it's super important. But yeah, I mean, it's terrible to see, but J. Cole's he's doing it right. So
Edith, that is so powerful what you just said, and so accurate. Even in my experience, people think that there's some folks I've seen ascend to a certain level of education, economic status, and begin to buy into this illusion of inclusion because of their idea of separateness, right? Because now I don't deal with that, and therefore racism doesn't exist anymore, and oppression doesn't, because I live and I have access to these certain things. And it is most unfortunate to see that when you have a tremendous responsibility in that space. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do it the same way, but at least be aware and do something from your own vantage point that's comfortable and authentic for you, right? But yes, it's shameful that some folks get to that space and just act like it doesn't exist anymore for the broader population. It's really painful.
And we see it so often. And it's just like,
what happened? Right. That's such a great point. Yeah, and J. Cole is amazing. J. Cole is amazing. You also have in here another heavy hitter, Kendrick Lamar. At this point, all right, right? And most of an anthem. And so what emotions does this song All Right invoke when you listen to it, and why did this make the list?
This song reminds me of, like you said, the power and resilience we as Black people have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Even though all this is happening, it's terrible, we have to fight every day. Mm-hmm. Like, we're gonna be all right. That's right. What people said back in the day during slavery, during the civil rights movement. We're gonna be all right.
We'll be all right. That's right. That's right. And Kendrick is amazing too. Yeah. We're gonna be all right. Exactly right. I love that. Also, see, Anderson is on here. Lockdown. Talk to me about that and this making the playlist and what this means to you.
I love the song because it tells a story. Mm-hmm. The height of the BLM movement, the song was released, mm-hmm. and I just love the song so much that I don't have words. Like, this song is so good, talking about the protests and how change happens when people come together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Talking about finally realizing what's happening from people deciding not to see it, even though it was here all along.
Exactly.
Yeah, this means a lot to me because that all the protests and movements were very, very important to me. I went to a lot of them.
Did you?
I did. And
what was the first? Do you remember the first one you went to when all this popped?
Yeah, it was actually in the town next to mine.
Okay.
It's called Fayette County.
Okay, yes.
And yeah, that was the first one I went to with my sisters and my mom.
Okay.
I saw a lot of people I knew.
Wow.
I saw a lot of white people I knew, which is also very important.
Absolutely.
And it was the most peaceful, amazing experience.
And your mother went too.
Yeah, everyone was just walking together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were thanking the cops as they walked by.
Wow.
It was a very peaceful thing. That brings me to, like, how media just portrayed all these protests as terrible, because obviously in history,
Right, right,
our enemies didn't like that we were coming together and
right.
trying to make change. But this protest was so amazing and peaceful. We just walked and chanted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great experience, but the media doesn't want you to see all the good that protests bring.
Exactly, exactly.
But yeah, it was amazing.
Wow. Speaking of that, again, it was an amazing demonstration that was often distorted from the media. That was an amazing experience of Black pride and Black dignity and Black excellence and resilience. And so, speaking of that, you have another song called My Power by Beyonce and Tierra Whack. I want to make sure I pronounce that last name. Tierra?
And that
Yeah,
was right. Tierra
right?
Whack.
Yeah, Tierra Whack. I'll make sure I don't mess that up. Yeah. But is a beautiful affirmation and declaration of Black pride, right? And so talk to me about how this made your list and what that song means to you.
A great example of not losing your soul as a Black person that's upper class is Beyonce
Yes.
and Jay-Z.
Yes.
They are the exact same as they were before, as they should be, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, they know no matter what, they are still Black, and that's very important.
That's right.
And just that whole Beyonce album, Black is King,
Mm-hmm.
is a celebration of Blackness in
Yes.
general.
Yes.
So it was very hard for me to choose one song.
Yeah.
It's just such an amazing film, an amazing album, and every song is about being Black and being awesome and being powerful.
Yes.
And My Power is also a really great one. And another thing I love that Beyonce did was she showcased a lot of Black artists that don't have a lot of followings.
That's right.
And like so many Black artists, even from Africa, from America, from all these different places, were able to be on her album because she's trying to uplift
That's
Black
right.
art from any type of level, which is what I love. And Tierra Whack is just always amazing. Exactly. So that song is really good.
Talk to me. Where were you at when you first watched that whole bit? Where were you? Who were you with? Like, what was going on?
I was with my sisters and one of my sister's boyfriends actually in her living room. She just moved in.
Okay.
Her house, so we were sitting on like an air mattress
Yeah.
in her living room.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just we sat there with the lights off in the dark and just watched it in silence. And at the end of the movie, we're like, yeah.
Yeah, it was a moment. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, very powerful. So now I want to transition to Black Girl Magic. I mean, we're talking about all this amazingness, right? And so Black Girl Magic made the list, right? And talk to me about how it made the list, the artist exactly, and how does your femininity add to this one? How does your femininity affect the way you navigate your Blackness?
Well, this song, I was just, okay. I was in my room getting ready and looking in the mirror. And every time I leave,
right,
I think in my head, Black Girl Magic, because that's what I see when I look at myself.
I love it.
And I was wondering, I was like, are there any songs called that? There has to be.
Right.
So I looked on Spotify, and that was the first one that came up. Okay. And I never heard this artist before or anything. So I clicked on it, and it was banging. It was really good. And then the lyrics were just amazing as well. Talking about melanin, talking about different hair types, kinky hair, 4C hair, Black hair, protective styles, how we need to treat our Black women, and because Black women deserve respect, understanding. We shouldn't always be the bearer of education, like Black hair, Black everything. We shouldn't be able to have to do that all the time. Even though I love doing it, I know that a lot of other Black women are like, why do I have to be the person to do this? Why can't other people look themselves? Aren't you curious, or do you care?
Right. That's exactly right.
Every time I listen to this song, I feel even more empowered and beautiful.
I love it.
It's a really good song in general. So
shout out to Che Lingo, because you looked it up, randomly found it. And so here we go. I love that though, right? And so now we're raising the profile of this beautiful piece of work, Black Girl Magic. And I love the fact that when you look in the mirror, you see Black Girl Magic. I would imagine in part, was that instilled in you from your parents? Like that sense of, it seems like you've had that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Something my parents did so well, even though I was, raised partially in a predominantly white area, they always reminded me that I'm Black and I'm beautiful and
Okay.
I'm awesome,
Yes.
especially my mother.
Right.
Which is one thing I'm very happy about because I'm glad I didn't have lost souls as parents.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
I, but yeah, definitely my parenting and the people I was surrounded by, my family, my extended family, and everything. They
Mm-hmm.
just always reminded me to celebrate my Blackness,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's definitely where it comes from for sure.
Right. I love that. I love that. So let's get into another one. Beautiful song on the list. Ping Black Girls Remix. Talk to me about that. How this make it? What's this mean to you?
I finally found a song that explains the experience young Black women have worldwide.
Mm.
Worldwide, these artists are from Great Britain, from London.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, our experiences are so similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at the end of the day, no matter where we are, we're all still Black, and there's injustices from Black women and Black people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just America. America, obviously, very big place for that,
Right.
but
Right.
just the whole world surrounded by. And I was listening to the song, and I was like, they have the exact same experience I have.
Wow.
One of the lyrics is like, "Don't touch my hair. My hair
Mm.
is beautiful. Stop asking me questions.
Mm.
My
Mm.
melanin is amazing."
Yes.
The thing about this song always empowers me as well, and it's a great song too, musically.
I love it. Annie and Georgia Smith. And so I love it. I'm glad we put this on there and it makes sense. It speaks to the universal, again, even though in the UK, the experience, right? Very similar. And it spoke to your heart on the global level. Love that. We will round out your playlist. Last but not least, you have on here the story of OJ. But Jay-Z decides to tell the story of OJ. What makes storytelling through music so powerful to you, in addition to why did this song make your list?
Like I said, honesty comes easier within music.
Okay.
So this is one reason why I love the song so much. Okay, so and another example of a lost soul is OJ Simpson. Very much so. So Jay-Z's telling the story, like I was talking about before.
Yeah.
No matter what your ranks, no matter where you are,
That's right.
no matter who you hang out with, no matter who you try to be, at the end of the day, there's no way to mask your Blackness. Why you even want to do that?
Right.
I don't understand.
Right.
But OJ, just since he was OJ, I'm not Black, I'm OJ, which he literally said in real life. I was like, what?
What is that?
He thinks the Black issues don't pertain to him because he is highly ranked.
Sure.
And Jay-Z's talking about, dark nigga, rich nigga, still nigga.
Right.
Still, you're still Black no matter what. And he was integrating that with the story of OJ to explain to people, no matter what, you're still Black.
That's right.
OJ was over here being like, I'm not Black, I'm OJ. And he's like, I mean, okay, like what? Whatever. I can't believe that. I was really young when the OJ thing happened.
Yeah.
But my mom and I watched this documentary about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I always heard of OJ, but I obviously didn't. I didn't live through that, so
Right.
I watched it and I was like, wow, like this is really sad for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
But mostly for me, because he lost himself. Lost himself with all the fame and all the success he's had. He just thought he wasn't Black anymore, I guess.
The lost souls that you speak of. Yeah. Wow. Exactly. That was a powerful song, and that entire album by Jay was amazing. So yeah, absolutely. So here it is, Edith. I have enjoyed hearing your journey, your story about growing up in the South, Atlanta, in the white school district, transferring to the Black school district, having this eye-opening moment, girl, you need to fix up that hair and take them braids out. And then going to your punk rock concert, like, where are my people at? We created rock. Where are we at? We're not visible here. To then stalking your band members or trying to become a bandmate and finding random numbers and doing this and just navigating your way through all this and to this point. I want you to leave the folks with some final thoughts around, again, your whole experience of being Black and American. What do you want them to take away from everything you said today on this beautiful, rich, diverse journey? For me, it's clear that being Black in America, we're not a monolithic group of folks. We have these various experiences, but then at the same time, we do have a common thread that extends globally. And that's also what I heard you share as well. So Edith, wrap it up for me and tell the folks, give some final thoughts about what you really want to lay on their hearts before we wrap this session up about being Black in America. What do you want them to take away?
Being Black in America. Yes, we're automatically born with a bunch of expectations and misunderstandings and struggle. But remember, at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want, and we're so strong we can achieve whatever you want. None of that other bullshit can hold you back at all.
That's
like,
right.
Don't let people tell you just because you're oppressed, just because you're this. You can do whatever you want. Like, you can really, the power we have is so strong.
That's right.
That we always push through that and we do great things. And you need to know that you can do great things as well, no matter what.
No matter what. Edith, that's the best way to say it, because you're a living example that you can do whatever you want, no matter what, even if it takes you 2 years of calling every single damn day.
Yes.
We're so glad you joined us on today. You are absolutely outstanding, Edith. I love everything that you're doing. I love your outlook on life. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And to everybody who is listening, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And this is another episode of Black in America.